Hello everyone. Here we have Hema Narayanan, who is a professional photographer as well as a writer. Welcome, Hema.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would like to ask you a few questions about your relationship with Honeycomb. When and how did you know about Honeycomb Creative Support?
I think the first time definitely has to be when I think I met you at NGMA gallery during the presentation, and I think that was way back in 2014.
Yes.
So that definitely, you coming in person and coming in for the speech definitely left a mark on me. But in that time frame itself, there were a lot of buzz in the photography community about this new company that has come with very high quality printing called Honeycomb. So I would believe that somewhere between 2013 and 2014 is when I started to get to know more about you and your services.
Yeah, so what were the challenges you were facing about printmaking before you came to Honeycomb?
See, I think before you folks came into the picture, photographers had very limited set of people to go to. Like one of them I recollect whom I used to go to was Prabhu Digital, which is somewhere in MG Road. Another one is Manjunath's Print Gallery. But the point of it is we were restricted to just one or two high quality printers. But when you guys came in, and that too in Koramangala, I think it became like a central hub. I think the amount of mediums you brought in with very high quality printers kind of suddenly eased the landscape for photographers. And one is that thing. The second thing which I personally really like about Honeycomb, which I wouldn't classify it as a challenge or a problem, is that you are there everywhere. Which means that you take the effort and the time to go and represent Honeycomb, tell people what you really are doing and what kind of mediums you cater to. You support photographers in exhibitions or making prints for them free of cost. This is something that I had not experienced in previously. So I wouldn't really classify this as a problem in printmaking, but I definitely want to pass it on as a feedback or a comment, positive comment, because I really appreciate the passion that you guys show.
So, how long have you been with Honeycomb Creative Support?
More than 6 years, I would say. I've known you and Nofil for close to 6 years. And over a period of time, I've attended a lot of different things at your Galleria, and I have realized that the services that you have started to introduce are more and more. And the kind of experiences you have put out for the photographers are quite premium, I should say, and fairly well accepted. And we really like to come and work with Honeycomb because A, you guys are very accommodative, and be very flexible, and you really work out on rates as well for us.
So we would like to know more about Hema Narayanan as photographer. So what genre of photography do you practice?
I think you should actually spin the question around in another way, saying, what genre of photography do you not practice?
Okay.
I think I do all genres because I really love the fact that each genre has a brilliant ability to say something totally different. So I do everything under the genre of travel, landscape, architecture, street, people, portraiture, and photojournalism. Recently, a few creatives as well, like glassware and astro and so on. But the one thing which I don't do is fashion photography. So I definitely know one genre which I don't do much.
So what have you been able to achieve since using our fine art prints? Whether were you able to sell them, exhibit them, and what are the type of medias that you prefer from Honeycomb?
Fine art prints.
Yeah.
I've tried canvas.
Yeah.
And I like the different types of GSM papers you have and the framing options. I think over a period of time I've tried different printers in my journey of the last 10 years, and I certainly think that it's a class apart. Yes, you have a dedicated team right here at your office who sat with me to understand what kind of an eventual output I want, and based on that I've gone up to suggest that don't pick this medium, why don't you pick that medium, So the service does not just the service you give is not just limited to okay, there comes Hema, she gives a print, let me print it and give it to her. Instead you say, okay, if you want this element of your photograph to stand out, why don't you choose that medium rather than choose the medium that you have come out suggesting. So I like the personal touch you give to your customers or to your photographers, and therefore I definitely feel that when I want to print a lot more or make a book for my home or my family, you will definitely be my preferred printer.
Could you give us some reasons why you would recommend Honeycomb to other fellow photographers for fine art prints?
Definitely I can. One for sure is I think to get the best out of the image that you have shot. You know, like I said just now, the ability for your team to be able to bring out the best in an image that's in front of them by trying to kind of help with a subtle amount of processing or the suggestion of the canvas is extremely beneficial. I look at it as a photographer, but I can't really look at it as what will be the net output when it is printed. So you are able to do that for me. You are able to say that, Hema, this image, if printed in this manner, has got a far better, powerful appeal than done like this. I think that's the expertise you folks have. And I think any aspiring photographer who wants to kind of put them up on the wall has to kind of try you for sure, because otherwise how does he or she know what's the potential of their picture? You know, when it's out there, it has to look as good as he or she envisioned it. So exactly. I definitely think I would recommend that every photographer out there should come and try. I even remember that Sri Kumar giving me some of the, on the house prints, which I so appreciate, and I never want to give it away to anybody, even though I have quite a few of them, and I totally appreciate your services.
So Hema, you being in the photography community for so many years, what would be your message to the young and the aspiring photographers?
Two things. Have the passion for photography, but have it put in the perseverance and the practice. So let's say the 3 P's. Because passion without perseverance and practice is absolutely non-consequential. And the second one, which I think can benefit the aspiring photographers, is that if you want to chase the art or the craft of photography, you must do it with commitment and conviction. So that makes it the 3 C's. Yeah, chase the photography, the art of photography with conviction and commitment. And most importantly, I think it is to bring about a balance between what you see with your naked eye and what you see from behind the lens. Yeah, so these are 3 things which I would definitely tell these photographers who are coming up.
So thank you so much, Hema, for sharing your insight about photography to us and your experience with Honeycomb.
Sure.
We are very glad to have you as our client and our ambassador. Yeah. Thank you, Hema.
Thanks, Sri Kumar.
Thank you.